Welcome back. So 3 weeks from tomorrow, we'll be in the playoffs. We'll see some matchups. But from now until then, we got some regular season to decide who's playing who and who's going to make it. So starting things off, we've got Utah in Florida against the Panthers. And clearly, Utah, after the embarrassment they got last night, much better game for them, much better game for Vejmelka as well. So it's Vejmelka versus Bobrovsky. 3 minutes in, Utah had the only shot on net. Panthers press are kept to the outside. Bennett fires one wide as the Panthers are getting some control. The fans call when the referee does not. Shots are 2 apiece at 9 minutes. And I put right here, very chess feel so far. Very chess magnet feel so far to this game. Panthers press at the half. There's more Florida pressure with 5.5 minutes left. We get a power play for Utah. That's killed off. No shots on net. Balinskis has a rush chance. That's held. Utah presses in the final minute. But there's no score, and there's only 11 shots combined in the first period. Second period, Rodriguez has a rush chance. That's held. The Panthers draw a power play, and they score on it at 2:27. Bennett buries a cross-crease pass. Barkov and Samaskevich with the assists. So 1-0 for Florida. Utah then gets a power play. That's killed off. Doan's denied after the power play comes to an end. The shots are 4-2 Florida at 6 minutes. We get a power play for the Panthers. That's killed off. So Florida gets another power play. That's killed off as well. And then just in case you missed the first 2 power plays, they get their 3rd straight power play in that second period. And Utah kills all 3 of them. Panthers press with 3 minutes left, and even though they controlled most of that period and only allowed 3 shots in that period, they're only up 1-0 going to the third. Third period, there's a post for Bukestad on a rush. There's a delay game call, gives Utah power play. That becomes 4-on-4. Forsling net feed gets picked off, and there's a rush the other way. Dursey buries it at 1:53. Barrett Hayden with the assist. It's a 4-on-4 goal. It's a 1-1 tie. Everything gets killed off after that. The Panthers press after it's all done. Shots are 4-2 for Florida at 5 minutes. Forsling takes a puck to the face. He does get up and skate off, though. Utah presses at 7 minutes. Dursey has a rush chance that's broken up. The Panthers get a power play. That's killed off. Shots are 8-5 Florida with 6 minutes left. Sturm has a fast break. That's defended. He wanted a call there. We get a power play for Utah. That's killed off as well. Marchand can't bury one in close. We're going to overtime. Panthers controlled this early. Marchand has a net drive chance that's held. There's some pushing. Verhaeghe then has a slot shot that's held. And then at 4:18, Bennett backhands one up high. The assist to Marchand. So the Florida Panthers win this one 2-1 in overtime. They go to 44-25-3 with the win. With the overtime loss, Utah 32-29-12 on the season. Shots on net, 6-5 Utah in the first, 13-3 Florida in the second, 10-5 Florida in the third. 4-0 Utah, or 4-0 Florida in the overtime, including the shot that matters. Final shots, 32-14 for Florida. Power plays, Utah goes 0 for 4, Florida 1 for 6. Both teams had 28 hits in this game. Vejmelka saves 30 out of 32. Bobrovsky saves 13 out of 14. Not busy, but effective when tested. All right, Montreal and Carolina, Montembeault versus Freddie Anderson. And 23 seconds in, Josh Anderson scores. On the first shot, it's a turnover, and he gets the goal. Gallagher and Dvorak with the assists. However, at 41 seconds, Blake ends up getting a goal that's listed as an own goal because Suzuki put it in his own net on what's technically the first shot on net. Doesn't count as a goal against for Montembeault, though, because it's an own goal. So it's 1-1. At that point. We then get a power play for Montreal. That's killed off. The Habs draw another power play. That's killed off as well. The fans call one. The referee does not, so the referee's informed that he sucks. There's another call that they try to make, so the referee's informed that he sucks again. Laine has a rush chance. That's held. Hall has a rush chance held at the other end. We get a power play for Carolina. That becomes 34 seconds of 5-on-3. It's all punching behind the Montreal net, and so the referee's told that he sucks. Then there's a long delay because the clock is messed up. So there's a penalty for each team on the punching behind the net. And those are the penalties they put up on the clock. So even though it's still a 5-on-4 at this point, well, now that penalty's off the clock. So it took a while. The Habs then do finish the kill. I thought the delay helped the penalty killers. It's 1-1 after 1. Second period, Canes press at 2 minutes. Burns has a wrister that's caught and held. Shots are 3-1 Carolina at 5 minutes. Canes press, they're kept to the outside. The Habs press at 7 minutes. More pressure by Montreal at 9.5 minutes, but 30 minutes into this game, Montreal had 6 shots. Carolina did an excellent job tonight of not giving Montreal much out there at all. We then get a power play for Carolina, and they score on it. At 13:46, it's Hall. from Blake and Jarvis. And then at 16:09 on a rush, Aho roofs one to make it 3-1. Jarvis and Blake with the assists. So 2 assists by Blake and Jarvis very quickly in this game to make it 3-1. Kane's press for another. Gallagher fires one wide from the slot. Suzuki has a rush chance. That saved. It's 3-1 after 2. Third period. Kane's press at 2.5 minutes. The teams trade turnovers. Heineman has a rush chance. That's held. Aho has a net drive chance that's blocked. Evans then has a rush chance. That's saved. The shots are 4-3 Montreal at 6.5 minutes. New hooks denied on a fast break. The Habs press at 9.5 minutes. Aho prevents a goal for Lane Hudson. Kane's press with 5 minutes left. Eventually, Montreal pulls the goaltender, and Svechnikov in his return to action gets the empty net goal from Martinook at 19 minutes. Carolina wins this one 4-1. They go to 44-24-4 on the season. The Montreal Canadiens 33-30-9 with the loss. Shots on net 11-4 Carolina in the first, 9-3 Carolina in the second, 8-5 Montreal in the third. Final shots 25-15 for Carolina. Power plays Montreal 0-2, Carolina 1-3. The hits 22-16 Montreal. Montembeault saves 22 out of 24. Anderson saved 14 out of 15. All right, next up. Vancouver and Columbus, the game with all the goals in it. Lankinen versus Merzlikins in this one. Early press by Columbus. Shots are 3-1 for the Blue Jackets at 4 minutes. Teams trade rushes. Columbus press at 5.5 minutes. We get a power play for Vancouver, and they score in it. It's Carlson. A cross-crease pass is buried. Sherwood and Garland with the assists at 8:51. And then at 10:35, Besser scores. He goes glove side. Hughes and Suter with the assists, and you celebrate with punching. Columbus emerges with a power play on that as well, and then that's killed off. The Canucks then get a turn on the power play, and they score on this one as well. It's DeBrusk burying a rebound, Besser and Suter with the assists at 13:26. Vancouver would not get another power play the rest of the way. Columbus presses to respond. Things get pushy and punchy on a hold by Lankinen. Columbus presses with a minute and a half left in the period. Canucks get pinned down, but they're blocking the net, and they're up 3-0 after 1. Second period, 34 seconds in, Jenner deflects in a point shot, telling you how crazy this game's going to get. Matejchuk and Goodbranson with the assists. Columbus looks for another. The Canucks press at 2 minutes, but at 4:54, Marchenko goes far corner from the left circle. The assists to Monahan and Fabro. Columbus then looks to tie it, but the shots are 6-3 Canucks at 7 minutes, which is odd, right? And then at 8:42, Fabro puts one past a screen after a good forecheck, gets a turnover. Sillinger and Olivier with the assists. Suddenly we have a 3-3 tie. Columbus then gets a 4-minute power play, and Vancouver scores on it. It's Myers just past Elvis's glove from in close. Sherwood and Suter with the assists at 11:23. Vancouver has a 4-3 lead. Canucks then finish off the kill, which is important. Bluger has a rush chance that's kicked aside. Sillinger's denied from the doorstep. The Canucks press in the final minute. Vancouver's up 4-3 after 2. Third period, teams trade rushes. The shots are 2 apiece at 5 minutes. Provorov has a shot that's caught and held. Canucks press are kept to the outside. And then at 6:42, Ratu from a distance on a rush. This is one Elvis would probably want back. Joshua and Hughes with the assists. But at 7:03, Matejchuk buries a one-timer from the left circle. Jenner and Fantilli with the assists. There's a lot of goals. Columbus then ties it. There's a goalie interference challenge, and it's ruled that yes, in fact, no goal. So there's a loud booing and a lot of arguing from Olivier with that decision. Canucks press with 6 minutes left. With 3:20 left, Columbus gets a power play, and it scores in seconds. It's 16:46. Jenner tips one in. Marchenko and Werenski with the assists. And then at 17:08, Olivier gives them the lead from Fabro and Danforth. So suddenly you have a 6-5 lead for Columbus. However, at 17:31, Ratu buries one in close for his second goal of the game. The assist to Joshua and Sherwood. Scores 6-6. We're going to overtime. The overtime, Columbus controls early. Hughes has a fast break chance. That saved. Elvis gets clipped by Sherwood. I thought Elvis, he was looking for a call. I'm not saying that like Sherwood didn't clip him, but he did look like he was looking for a call a bit, and then he got up looking for that call. I understand usually they'll get that, but no call was made. We end up going to the shootout. In the shootout, Kent Johnson gets the winner. It's a 7-6 shootout victory for Columbus. They go to 33-29-9 with the win, with the shootout loss. Vancouver 34-26-13. I know there's a lot of Canuck fans that still think they can make it. Don't know what to tell them. Shots on net, 12-10 Columbus in the first, 12-10 Vancouver in the second. Only thing I can say is they're a lot younger than I am. Because anybody my age probably has realized, yeah, this just isn't the year. Third period, the shots were 15-11 for Columbus. In the overtime, Vancouver outshoots Columbus 4-1. Final shots 38-37 for Columbus. Power plays, Vancouver scores on both of theirs. Columbus scores on 1 out of 4. The hits 23-22 for Vancouver. Lankinen 32 saves on 38 shots. Merzlikins 31 saves on 37 shots. So let's check out board number 2. New Jersey and Winnipeg. Allen versus Hellebuck. Early jump for the Devils, but the puck could go the other way, and Winnipeg scores on their first shot. Iafallo on a rush from Connor and Scheifele at 58 seconds, and then on their third shot at 1:51, Gustafsson buries a rebound after a turnover. Tanev and Barron with the assists. It's 2-0 Winnipeg. We're not 2 minutes into the game yet. Devils press at 4 minutes. Cotter has a net feed that's picked off. Shots are 4-1 Jets at 7 minutes. We get a power play for the Devils. That's killed off. 1 shot on net. Devils press with 6.5 minutes left. The New Jersey Devils score. The referee says goalie interference, and the Devils do not challenge that call. Barron fires one high on a rush. The Jets press with 3.5 minutes left, and they're up 2-0 after the first. Second period. Jets press at 3 minutes. There were no shots on net 4 minutes into the period. Devils press 7 minutes in. Meyer has a shot that's blocked. The Jets are forced to ice it. Cotter then has a wrister that's blocked. The Jets rush the other way. We get a power play for the Devils. During that, there's a post for Meyer. There's also a chance for Hellebuck to get the MVP, which is the Hart. They do kill that power play off. 4 shots on net for New Jersey there. We then get a power play for the Jets, and they score on it. Their only power play of the night at 15:45. Iafallo buries a rebound from in close. The assist to Ehlers and Morrissey. Good forechecking by Winnipeg, and at 19:18 on a rebound after a rush, Scheifele scores from Connor to make it 4-0, and then the Jets press to close it out. So it's 4-0 going into the third. Third period, the only shot on net belongs to the Devils 3 minutes in. If Hellebuck sees it, he saves it. Shots are 3-2 Devils at 6 minutes. Pesce has a wrister that's caught and held. Devils press at 9 minutes. The teams trade turnovers. Things get pushy on a hold by Hellebuck. There wasn't a lot of that, though. Although the physical play's picking up in the second half, it still wasn't an overly hotly contested game. Score's pretty lopsided at this point anyways. Devils draw a power play with 4:53 left. Palat fires one wide. Power play's killed off. No shots on net there. Perfetti's denied on a cross-ice pass, and Winnipeg wins this one 4-0. They go to 50-19-4 with the win. With the loss, New Jersey 38-29-7. The Tony the Tiger Magnets on the board because Hellebuck was great. Shots on net 9-8 Winnipeg in the first, 6-5 Winnipeg in the second, 11-4 New Jersey in the third. Final shots 24-19 for the Devils. Power plays, the Devils 0 for 3. Winnipeg scored on their only power play. The hits 31-22 New Jersey. Allen saves 15 out of 19. Hellebuck saves 24 out of 24. All right, Vegas and the Chicago Blackhawks. Hill versus Knight. The shots are 2-0 Chicago at 4 minutes. Korczak has a net feed that's blocked. Saad has a rush chance that's held. Hawks press at 5.5 minutes. Barbashev has a rush chance that's turned aside. Post and out for Olofsson, but he's going to get that back. Smith has a rush chance that's saved by Knight. Vegas presses with 8.5 minutes left. The Hawks were stuck on 2 shots for a while. And then at 16:15, Chicago opens the scoring. Donato buries one in close. Del Mastro and Mikheyev with the assists. It's 1-0 at that stage. Vegas looks to respond. The Hawks press in the final minute. 12 seconds left. Chicago gets a power play. So it's 1-0 Chicago after the first. And they have a power play to start. The Hawks have a power play to start the second. The Vegas Golden Knights finish the kill there. Shots are 2-1 for Vegas at 3 minutes. Mikheyev has a fast break. Hill poke checks him during that fast break, and then the puck deflects right out there. Then at 6:41, Stone gets one 5-hole on Spencer Knight. Barbashev and Eichel with the assists. 7:34 in, on a rush, Olofsson gets his first goal in a while. Carlson and Kolasar with the assists. Shots are 9-2 Vegas at 9 minutes. Yeah, they had a pretty good period, although they didn't get another shot after that. Veleno's denied and close. We get a power play for Chicago. That's killed off. The Hawks go back to the power play, or they would have. During the delayed call at 16:13, Donato scores from Veleno and Kaiser. So I had time to write on the board, Hawks go back to the power play, and then just watch as they didn't because they had the puck for so long before they got that goal, which made it a 2-2 tie. And then at 16:29, Donato cross-ice pass and in. He gets the hat trick. The assist to Mikheyev and Bedard. Vegas looks to respond, but they're down 3-2 after 2, and that's where Vegas fans were commenting on the Vegas video I did today. You jinxed us. Why'd you do this? Vegas fans don't understand that a lead means nothing to the Chicago Blackhawks. Third period, the Hawks press at 1.5 minutes, but at 2:06, again on the rush, Olofsson goes post and in. Smith and Carlson with the assists. And so we have a 3-3 tie. Hawks look to respond. Vegas presses at 5 minutes. Shots are 3-2 Chicago at 7 minutes. Hawks press at 8.5 minutes. Vegas keeps them to the outside, blocks the net. Haig has a shot that's tipped high as Vegas gets some pressure. Nazar's denied on a net drive. Vegas presses with 6.5 minutes left. Olofsson has a screenshot that's held with 4:03 left. Vegas gets a power play, and they score on it. Dorofeev, it's a one-timer on a tic-tac-toe play. The assist to Hannafin and Carlson at 16:50. The Hawks press to respond. The goalie pull happens with 1:48 left on a whistle. And at 19:17, Howden hits the empty net from Stone. The final score in this one, 5-3 for Vegas. They go to 44-20-8 with the win. With the loss, Chicago 21-43-9. Shots on net, 6-5 Chicago in the first, 9-7 Vegas in the second. Both teams had 8 shots in the third. Final shots, 22-21 for Vegas. Power plays, Vegas goes 1 for 2, Chicago 0 for 1. The hits, 19-18 Chicago. Hill had 18 saves on 21 shots. Knight had 17 saves on 21 shots. Not a lot of shots in that game. All right, next up, the New York Rangers and the Anaheim Ducks. And you can see that I put a magnet on this board because, seriously, and I'll talk about why after. So, Shesterkin versus Dostal, early press by Anaheim. There's a power play drawn by the Ducks. That's killed off, 3 shots on net. And then at 3:20, on a rush, Fox roofs a rebound. Panarin and Keandre Miller with the assists. Ducks look to respond. Things get pushy on a hold by Dostal. The shots are 6-3 Ducks at 6.5 minutes. Rangers press at 8.5 minutes. They have a good forecheck. And Shesterkin's the reason this one's 1-0, as the Ducks do get some shots. We then get a power play for the Rangers, and at 16:55, Killorn buries his own rebound on a breakaway, shorthanded, from Leo Carlson. The Ducks then finish the kill, so it's a 1-1 tie. But at 18:48, JT Miller on a backhand from the slot makes it 2-1 Rangers. Cooley and Lafreniere with the assists, so 2-1 Rangers after 1. Early in the second, 14 seconds in, Lafreniere roofs one from the slot. JT Miller with the assist. It's a 3-1 lead in favor of the Rangers. Teams trade rushes. The Rangers press at 3 minutes. Shots are 4-3 Rangers at 6 minutes. Rangers have a 2-on-1 that misfires. Ducks press at 8 minutes. Good forechecking by the Rangers at this stage of the game. We get a power play for Anaheim, and this is where there's a parade to the penalty box. We get 1 minute and 39 seconds of 4-on-4. Then we get 17 seconds of 4-on-4 with another penalty called. Then we get 43 seconds of a 5-on-3 for the Ducks. The Rangers kill that off, and then they rush after it's done. The Ducks press to close it out. It's 3-1 Rangers after 2. Keep in mind, the Rangers need to win this game. All they need to do is win. They already know the Montreal Canadiens lost. If they win, they're above the playoff line. 2 minutes and 22 seconds in, Carlson, that's Leo Carlson, wires one from the slot, past a screen. Zellweger and Zegras with the assists. Rangers look to respond. We end up getting a power play for New York, and they score on it. So Benajad buries one on a nice pass from Fox. Panarin with the other assist at 4:35. Rangers are up 4-2. Rangers go back to the power play. That becomes 1 minute and 37 seconds of 5-on-3. Back in October, the Rangers score twice here. They absolutely do. They score twice here. But not only did the Ducks kill that off, there wasn't a single shot for the Rangers during the 5-on-3 or the 5-on-4 on the other side. Othman has a rush chance that save. Then there's a delay game call. That gives the Rangers a power play. That's killed off. And at 14 minutes and 12 seconds, Gauthier buries a rebound for the Ducks. The assist to Carlson and Lacombe. Suddenly it's a 4-3 lead. Ducks press for the tie with 3:54 left. The Rangers get another power play. That's killed off as well. And then at 18:15 on a 4-on-2 rush, Zellweger scores to tie the game at 4. Minchukov and Carlson with the assists. So we go to overtime. Ducks control early, and they score on their first shot. At 59 seconds, it's McTavish from Lacombe and Gauthier. So what I've got on the board here, and I'll go ahead and grab it for people on their phone if you can't read it. This magnet, I don't use it very often, but this is like the ultimate, to quote The Good Place, what the fork? The Rangers had a 4-2 lead in the third period against an Anaheim team that's nowhere near the playoffs. The Ducks now are 32-32-8. The Rangers are 34-32-7. This pulls them into a two-way tie with teams that have games in hand on them. Doesn't help. They need to win and get ahead. I think it's just insane that they had a 2-goal lead with 6 minutes left and just blew it. So, shots on net, 16-9 Anaheim in the first, 13-11 Rangers in the second, 9-5 Rangers in the third. Anaheim had the only shot of overtime. It's all they needed, meaning the Ducks got 4 goals on their last 6 shots. So as good as Igor was in the first period, he needs to be better, especially when they have a lead. The final shots, 36-31 in favor of Anaheim. Power plays, the Rangers go 1 for 7. Anaheim goes 0 for 4. The hits, 22-18 Rangers. Shesterkin, 28 saves on 33 shots. And Dostal, 26 saves on 30 shots. It just doesn't feel like any teams in the East are all that interested in that last playoff spot. And it's really weird because it's not that long ago that it looked like the East was where we were going to see a team charging up to get that last playoff spot. And in the West, teams were sputtering, and it was really kind of a turtle derby. And now things have reversed. The teams out West in Minnesota and St. Louis are playing great. At least the results are good, and their point totals are good. And in the East, nobody seems to want that spot. Nobody seems to want it. So I actually got angry watching the game. And I mean, I like the Ducks. I'm kind of rooting for the Ducks. I want to see them finish above 500. But to not keep a 2-goal lead that late in the I don't get it. All right. Let's go ahead and get to the preview portion of this video. We have 11 games on Saturday, including the Rangers, and the Rangers are in a potential trap game here. So, first off, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, Buffalo's in Philadelphia. I'm as excited as everybody else to hear that. I'm not going to do 2 different reviews tomorrow. I've decided these games, the way they overlap and everything, I'm not going to... And Buffalo and Philly, I mean, Buffalo... 30, 35, and 6 overall. They're 6 and 4 in their last 10. They're 9 points out of the playoffs because you can keep getting closer. Philadelphia, 29, 36, and 9 overall. They're 2, 7, and 1 in their last 10. They're only 8 points out of the playoffs, so technically everybody's still in this. Then at 2 Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, the New York Islanders in Tampa. The Islanders, 32, 29, and 10 overall. They're 4, 3, and 3 in their last 10, which, by the standards that's being set by every team in this wildcard hunt, they're on a heater. They're 1 point out of a playoff spot right now, the Islanders. Tampa Bay, 42, 25, and 5 overall. They're 5, 4, and 1 in their last 10. They're 2 points behind Florida for the lead in the division, 1 point behind Toronto. I love that race for the Atlantic. And then at 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific, St. Louis in Colorado against the Avs. So this should be fantastic. St. Louis, 39, 28, and 7 overall. They're 8, 1, and 1 in their last 10. They're 2 points behind Minnesota for that number 1 wildcard spot and 4 points ahead of Vancouver above that playoff line. Colorado, 45, 25, and 3 overall. 8, 1, and 1 in their last 10. And 5 points behind Dallas for that second place spot. Dallas does have a game in hand on Colorado. 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific, New Jersey in Minnesota against the Wild. New Jersey, 38, 28, and 7 overall. They're 5, 4, and 1 in their last 10. They are 9 points behind Carolina in that second place spot. Whereas Minnesota, 41, 27, and 5. They're 5, 4, and 1 in their last 10. They're 6 points behind Colorado for third. And they're 2 points ahead of St. Louis in that number 1 wildcard spot. 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific, Vegas in Nashville against the Preds. Vegas 44, 20, and 8 overall. They're 6, 2, and 2 in their last 10. Vegas 7 points ahead of LA, 9 points ahead of Edmonton. Yeah, they're pretty safely in first place. Nashville 27, 37, and 8 overall. They're 4, 5, and 1 in their last 10. 23 points out of a playoff race that they're not in. They're 23 points behind that last playoff spot. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, only 2 games starting then. Columbus in Ottawa against the Sens. Columbus 33, 29, and 9. They're 3, 6, and 1 in their last 10, coming off that shootout win tonight against Vancouver. Ottawa 38, 28, and 5 overall, 7 and 3 in their last 10. They're 8 points behind Tampa. Now, for Columbus, I didn't write this down. I'll write this down now. Columbus, of course, is tied with the New York Rangers and Montreal for that last playoff spot in the East, whereas for the Ottawa Senators, they don't really have to worry about it. They are, I think, still 6 points clear of that number 2 wildcard spot. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start. Toronto in Los Angeles against the Kings. Toronto, 43, 25, and 4 overall. They're 5, 4, and 1 in their last 10. 1 point behind first place Florida. 1 point ahead of third place Tampa. It's a tight squeeze there. The LA Kings, 40, 22, and 9. They're 8 and 2 in their last 10. They're 7 points behind Vegas, but they're at home. And when they're at home, they're a much better team. They're looking to set a new team record with their 27th home win should they get it tomorrow. Toronto needs to make sure that doesn't happen if they want to keep their chase for that first place going. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific start. Boston in Detroit against the Red Wings. I'm sure everybody's going to be excited for this one too. Boston 30, 34, and 9 overall. They're 2-7-1 in their last 10. They're 6 points back at that final playoff spot. Detroit 33, 33, and 6 overall. They're 3-7 in their last 10. They're still only 3 points back. They're still within 3 points of a playoff spot. 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific. Calgary and Edmonton in the Battle of Alberta. The Calgary Flames 34, 26, and 11 overall. They're 5-3 and 2 in their last 10. They're 6 points back of St. Louis in that final playoff spot. The Oilers 41, 26, and 5 overall. They're 5-4 and 1 in their last 10. And they are 2 points behind LA for second place in the division. But you don't need to worry about the Oilers getting themselves ready for a game against Calgary, nor do you have to worry about Calgary getting themselves up for a game against Edmonton. This one should be fun. And then at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific, we have 2 games to go to shootouts tomorrow. The New York Rangers in San Jose against the Sharks. The Rangers 34, 32, and 7 overall, 3-6 and 1 in their last 10. Tied with Columbus and Montreal for that final playoff spot, and 1 point ahead of the Islanders for that final playoff spot. On San Jose's side, they're 20, 42, and 9 overall, but they're 5-5 in their last 10. They're 36 points out of a playoff spot. They're mathematically eliminated, but they're not playing like it. Or maybe they are. Maybe they are. They're just playing spoiler well enough. 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific start. Dallas in Seattle against the Kraken. Dallas 47, 21, and 4 overall. 6-2 and 2 in their last 10, and they're 6 points behind Winnipeg for first place in the division. Seattle 31, 36, and 6 overall, but they're 5-3 and 2 in their last 10. They are 17 points back of a playoff spot. They're almost mathematically eliminated from contention. But let me know your thoughts regarding tonight's games. Let me know your picks for tomorrow's games as well in the comments section below. Hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. I will talk to you again soon.